What happens when two worlds collide, one built on unshakable faith in meaning, order, and purpose, and the other rooted in doubt, skepticism, and the absence of certainty? Imagine standing at the crossroads where belief meets disbelief, where the foundations that hold us steady are challenged by forces that threaten to tear them apart. This is not just a debate. It is a battle for the soul of what it means to be human. It is a confrontation with the deepest questions we all carry but rarely dare to face. At the heart of this clash lies something more profound than words or ideas. It is the struggle between chaos and order, between the yearning for meaning and the temptation to reject it altogether. One side offers a vision of life where responsibility is the path to freedom, where truth guides us through darkness. The other questions the very existence of meaning, leaving behind the comfort of certainty for the unsettling vastness of the unknown. This confrontation is terrifying because it forces us to look inside ourselves and ask, what do I truly believe? What am I willing to stand for when everything I once took for granted is challenged? The reason this matters to you is not just intellectual curiosity. It touches something raw and urgent inside every human being. The desperate need to find a reason to get up each morning, to face suffering, to endure hardship, and to create a life worth living. When belief is stripped away, a void appears, a silent question hanging in the air. If nothing matters, why continue? Yet, when meaning is found, it becomes the anchor that holds us steady through every storm. Understanding this battle gives you a powerful choice. You can either fall into the emptiness that fear and doubt bring or rise above it by embracing the challenge to find and create meaning in your life. This encounter reminds us that life is not a safe, predictable journey. It is a wild, often brutal test of our courage and our will. The truth we cling to or reject shapes everything. It determines whether we live in paralysis or in purpose, whether we are lost in chaos or building order. This is why the stakes could not be higher. It is about more than beliefs. It is about the kind of person you become when faced with life's hardest questions. And here's what makes this confrontation deeply hopeful. In the midst of uncertainty, there is a way forward. It is not found by avoiding doubt or escaping discomfort. Instead, it lies in standing firm in the face of it, in taking responsibility for your life and your choices, even when the answers are not clear. It is in this struggle that you discover strength you never knew you had. You find meaning not handed to you, but forged through action and courage. You are not alone in this. This battle between belief and skepticism plays out within each of us every day. It whispers in moments of silence, challenges us in times of crisis, and beckons us to grow beyond who we are. By understanding this struggle, you gain the power to break free from confusion and despair. You begin to see that meaning is not a distant ideal, but a living force waiting for you to claim it. So ask yourself, what will you choose when confronted with the void? Will you let fear and doubt dictate your path, or will you take the hard but rewarding road toward responsibility, truth, and purpose? This question is the key to unlocking the life you want, the life that matters. This is why watching this journey matters, because within these ideas lies the possibility to transform your inner world and, with it, your entire existence. The clash between belief and disbelief is not just an external debate. It is an invitation for you to face your own fears, to wrestle with your doubts, and to emerge stronger and more alive than ever before. It challenges you to build a life anchored in meaning, no matter how uncertain the world may seem. And when you accept this challenge, you tap into something timeless and powerful, the unbreakable human spirit that refuses to surrender to emptiness. This is your moment to step into that struggle, to choose courage over comfort, and to find the meaning that will guide you through every darkness. Because at the end of the day, it is not the ideas that win or lose, it is you. And the life you create is the greatest victory you can achieve. Meaning is not some vague, distant idea reserved for philosophers or sages. It is the invisible force that shapes every choice you make, every breath you take, and every moment you decide to keep going despite the odds. Scientific research confirms what ancient wisdom has long known. A life rich in meaning creates resilience, fuels happiness, and gives us the strength to endure suffering that would otherwise break us. Without meaning, life can feel hollow, like a ship drifting without a rudder, vulnerable to every storm. But meaning is not something handed to you on a silver platter. It is forged through struggle, responsibility, and the willingness to face the unknown with courage. When life strips away certainty, the human spirit is tested in its most profound way. The absence of meaning creates a vacuum, a dangerous void that can lead to despair, apathy, and a sense of futility. This is why so many feel lost today. The modern world, with its constant bombardment of information and skepticism, threatens to erase the pillars that once gave us a sense of purpose. Yet the truth is more hopeful. The emptiness you fear is not a dead end, but an opening. It calls for a new way to build meaning, one that is not dependent on external guarantees, but rooted in your own commitment to something greater than yourself. Responsibility becomes the bridge across this chasm. It is through taking responsibility, whether for your actions, your relationships, or your role in the world, that meaning begins to grow. Psychological studies reveal a simple but powerful fact. People who take responsibility for their lives experience greater well-being and a deeper sense of purpose. When you accept that your choices shape your destiny, you reclaim your power. You shift from being a passive victim of circumstance to an active creator of your reality. This shift changes everything. It turns obstacles into opportunities, failures into lessons, and pain into a catalyst for growth. The challenge, of course, is that responsibility is not easy. It demands courage, the kind of courage that shakes you to your core. It means standing up when the world tells you to sit down, speaking truth when silence is safer, and acting even when the path ahead is uncertain. But here lies the paradox. Through responsibility, you gain freedom. Freedom from fear, from doubt, from the chaos that threatens to consume you. Meaning is not an abstract luxury. It is the very air you breathe. Without it, motivation dwindles and the fire within grows cold. But when you anchor your life in responsibility, you ignite a spark that can never be extinguished. It is the fuel that powers resilience, the light that guides you through the darkest nights. This is why the fight for meaning is the most important battle you will ever face. It is a battle worth every ounce of strength because it defines the quality of your life. When the world around you seems uncertain, when old beliefs crumble and new truths are hard to find, remember this: the meaning you seek is not lost. It is waiting for you to claim it through your actions. Every small choice to act responsibly, to stand for something, to face your fears head on, is a brick laid in the foundation of a meaningful life. This foundation cannot be shaken by external chaos because it is built from within. Do not underestimate the power of this realization. Understanding that meaning grows through responsibility can transform your mindset, your emotions, and your entire existence. It shifts the focus from what life owes you to what you owe life. And in that shift, there is liberation. You become the author of your story, the architect of your future. You gain the strength to carry burdens, the resolve to overcome setbacks, and the clarity to see purpose, even in pain. This path is not easy or popular. It requires relentless honesty with yourself and a fierce commitment to growth. It means accepting that life will not always be fair, that suffering is inevitable, and that certainty is an illusion. But within this acceptance lies power. The power to turn hardship into meaning, to find order in chaos, and to build a life that matters regardless of the circumstances. You are capable of more than you realize. The human spirit has endured horrors, risen from ashes, and created wonders against all odds. That same spirit burns inside you now, waiting to be awakened. When you choose responsibility, you tap into this ancient well of strength. You ignite a force that propels you forward, even when the road is dark and uncertain. The question is not whether you will face doubt or hardship. Those are guaranteed. The question is how you will respond. Will you retreat into emptiness, or will you step into the challenge and claim your role as the creator of your destiny? Meaning is not found in answers alone, but in the courage to keep asking, keep struggling, and keep building. This is the true gift of responsibility. It transforms you from a passenger in life into a driver. It shifts the narrative from victimhood to victory. It calls you to rise above the noise, to stand firm in your convictions, and to live a life that is unmistakably yours. When you accept this call, you no longer wait for meaning to find you. You become the meaning the world desperately needs. Remember, the battle between belief and skepticism is not fought in distant halls or abstract debates. It is fought every day inside you. It is the quiet voice urging you to choose courage over comfort, purpose over apathy. And when you listen to that voice, you unlock a force more powerful than doubt, more enduring than fear, the unstoppable drive to live a life of meaning, responsibility, and truth. Hold on to this truth tightly. Meaning is the foundation of your strength, and responsibility is the path to freedom. This knowledge is your compass through the chaos. It is the reason to rise, the reason to fight, and the reason to become the person you were meant to be. In this realization lies the power to change everything, starting now, with the choices you make today. To embrace responsibility is to accept the truth that many shy away from. Life is not designed to be easy or fair. The moment you understand this, a profound shift happens within you. No longer are you waiting for the perfect conditions, the ideal circumstances, or the world to hand you meaning on a silver platter. Instead, you claim your place as the architect of your own destiny, knowing that hardship is not a barrier, but a crucible in which your character is forged. This understanding awakens something primal and powerful, the deep human capacity to endure and to grow through suffering. Research in psychology reveals that those who find meaning in their struggles not only survive, but thrive. Pain becomes a teacher, failure a stepping stone, and sacrifice a path to greatness. This isn't just motivation, it is a law of existence. You cannot avoid hardship, but you can decide how it shapes you. Taking responsibility is the key that unlocks this transformative power. When you refuse to blame others or circumstances for your life, you step into a realm of freedom few dare to enter. This freedom is not the absence of challenges, but the mastery over them. It is the strength to stand firm when everything inside you screams to give up. It is the resilience that turns setbacks into comebacks and despair into determination. Imagine the weight that lifts off your shoulders when you realize that you hold the pen to your story. The past no longer chains you. Mistakes become lessons rather than curses. This power to choose your response to life's difficulties is the foundation of true meaning. It separates those who drift aimlessly through life from those who live with fierce purpose. This path demands courage, the kind of courage that is quiet but unyielding. It is not the absence of fear, but the resolve to move forward despite it. When you take responsibility, you become the guardian of your own soul. You refuse to let doubt and chaos define you. Instead, you cultivate order through your actions, your values, and your unwavering commitment to growth. The world is filled with voices urging you to avoid pain, to seek comfort, and to settle for easy answers. But true meaning lies beyond these voices. It waits on the other side of discomfort, in the place where you confront your fears and take ownership of your life. It demands that you be honest with yourself, that you stand in the fire of truth, and that you refuse to let weakness dictate your future. This is why responsibility is the most powerful form of rebellion against the chaos of the world. It is a declaration that you will not be a victim. It is a refusal to surrender your agency. When you choose responsibility, you claim your humanity in its fullest sense, flaws, doubts, and all. You acknowledge that while life is uncertain, your commitment to meaning can be steadfast. Psychological studies back this up. Those who accept responsibility for their lives report higher levels of happiness, lower levels of anxiety, and a stronger sense of control. This sense of control is not about manipulating the world, but mastering your inner world. It is about creating a framework for life that can withstand the unpredictable storms of existence. The clarity that comes from this responsibility allows you to see life with sharper focus. You begin to understand that suffering is not a punishment, but a necessary ingredient in the recipe of growth. It is the fire that refines your character, the pressure that molds your resilience, and the challenge that awakens your potential. This mindset changes everything. Instead of running from hardship, you run toward it with a warrior's heart. You become someone who does not merely survive, but thrives. You build a life that is not dependent on fleeting pleasures or external validation, but rooted in deep, unshakable meaning. To live responsibly is to commit to a higher standard, not because it is easy, but because it is essential. It is a promise to yourself that no matter what happens, you will stand tall, speak your truth, and act with integrity. This commitment creates a ripple effect that touches every area of your life. Relationships improve, confidence grows, and your sense of purpose becomes undeniable. This transformation is available to everyone, but it requires a choice, a decision to step out of passivity and claim your power. It means facing the harsh realities of life without flinching. It means accepting that you are the hero and the author of your story. And it means understanding that every moment you take responsibility, you build the legacy you will leave behind. There is a unique kind of freedom in this responsibility. It is not the freedom of doing whatever you want without consequence, but the freedom to create a meaningful life despite chaos and uncertainty. This freedom comes from knowing that you have the strength to endure, the wisdom to grow, and the courage to keep moving forward. The world may try to convince you that meaning is a myth, that responsibility is a burden, and that doubt should lead to despair. But you know better. You know that meaning is real, responsibility is liberation, and doubt is a step toward growth. When you choose this path, you become unstoppable. You become the person who doesn't just talk about change, but embodies it. You become the force that shapes your future, the light that guides others, and the legacy that outlasts you. This is not a vague ideal. It is a call to action, a challenge to rise, and an invitation to live boldly. So embrace responsibility. Let it be the armor that protects you and the sword that empowers you. Let it be the foundation of a life that no storm can break and no shadow can dim. In responsibility, find your meaning. In meaning, find your strength. And in that strength, discover the limitless potential of your human spirit. Doubt is a shadow that looms over every mind seeking truth. It creeps in quietly, whispering questions that unsettle even the strongest hearts. But doubt itself is not the enemy. It is the spark that ignites deeper understanding, the force that pushes us beyond comfortable illusions and shallow certainties. To doubt is to engage with reality, to refuse blind acceptance, and to demand that beliefs withstand scrutiny. Yet this path is perilous. Without grounding, doubt can become a prison of despair, a labyrinth where meaning dissolves and hope fades. The power lies not in avoiding doubt, but in facing it head on. The difference between destruction and growth is how you respond to uncertainty. Some fall prey to nihilism, the belief that nothing matters, because they see doubt as an endpoint. But true strength emerges when doubt becomes a bridge, not a barrier. When you wrestle with your questions instead of running, you forge a clarity that no easy answer can provide. This wrestling is essential because life is complex and absolute certainty is rare. No one has all the answers, and pretending otherwise only weakens us. Instead, the courage to question, to challenge, and to seek truth relentlessly is a sign of profound strength. It requires humility, the willingness to admit ignorance, and bravery, the willingness to keep searching regardless. This journey shapes character and refines wisdom. Skepticism can be a gift when balanced with purpose. It keeps the mind sharp, the values examined, and the soul honest. But unchecked, it can spiral into cynicism, a toxic stance that dismisses meaning before it is fully explored. The difference between skepticism and cynicism is the presence of hope and the willingness to act despite uncertainty. The greatest victories over doubt come when you refuse to let it paralyze you. Instead of being trapped in endless questioning, you choose to act in alignment with your highest values, even when the outcome is unclear. This is not blind faith. It is courageous faith rooted in the commitment to responsibility and meaning. It is choosing to build your life on principles that have withstood the test of time and personal experience. Psychological research reveals that humans are wired for meaning, and our brains resist meaninglessness. When we face doubt, our minds instinctively search for patterns, connections, and purpose. This is why stories, rituals, and values matter. They give structure to the chaos. When you anchor yourself in a purpose larger than doubt itself, you create a shield against despair. This shield is not a denial of reality, but a declaration of your intention. It says, I will not let uncertainty control me. I will live by what I know to be true, even as I seek to understand more. This stance requires ongoing effort. It demands daily choices to reaffirm your commitment to meaning, to stand firm against the tides of skepticism that seek to erode your resolve. Doubt tests your faith in yourself and your vision for life. It forces you to confront uncomfortable questions. What do I truly believe? What values will I live by when certainty vanishes? What legacy will I leave if everything I depend on is questioned? These questions are daunting, but they also open the door to profound growth. By grappling with them, you build a foundation that is stronger and more resilient than unquestioning belief. In this way, doubt becomes a catalyst for transformation. It pushes you to refine your understanding, to seek deeper truths, and to live more authentically. The process is never easy, but it is essential. Without it, meaning becomes shallow, fragile, and vulnerable to collapse when tested. When you embrace doubt as part of the journey, you free yourself from the tyranny of needing all the answers before you act. You learn to walk forward with imperfect knowledge, guided by the values that resonate deeply within you. This balance of questioning and commitment is the hallmark of true wisdom. The choice before you is clear. You can allow doubt to become a cage, trapping you in fear and indecision. Or you can use doubt as a tool, a way to sharpen your vision and strengthen your resolve. The path of courageous doubt leads to a life lived with greater depth, clarity, and impact. By choosing this path, you claim your power over uncertainty. You turn what could be a source of paralysis into a wellspring of motivation. You become someone who does not shy away from life's hardest questions, but faces them with honesty and strength. You transform skepticism into a source of insight rather than despair. This transformation ignites a fire within, a fire that refuses to be extinguished by fear or confusion. It fuels your pursuit of meaning, your commitment to responsibility, and your courage to act. When doubt and responsibility coexist within you, they create a dynamic force capable of overcoming the chaos of the world. In this space, you find a profound peace, not because all questions are answered, but because you trust in your ability to navigate the unknown. You recognize that life's uncertainties are not threats but invitations to grow. You embrace the challenge to live boldly, knowing that true meaning is forged in the tension between doubt and faith. This is the essence of strength, not certainty without question, but courage with question, not the absence of fear, but action in spite of it, not blind belief, but informed commitment. When you hold these truths, you stand taller than ever before. The journey through doubt is not a detour from meaning, it is its crucible. Within this fire, you become stronger, wiser, and more alive. You emerge with a deeper understanding of yourself and the world. You live a life that matters, not because it is free from uncertainty, but because it is rich with purpose despite it. Choose to see doubt not as your enemy, but as a necessary companion on your path. Let it sharpen your mind, deepen your courage, and fuel your commitment. In doing so, you transform doubt from a source of fear into a wellspring of power. You are not defined by the questions you face, but by how you face them. When you meet doubt with responsibility and courage, you create a life that transcends uncertainty. You build a legacy of strength, meaning, and unbreakable spirit. This is your invitation to rise above fear, to wrestle with doubt, and to live a life that shines bright in the face of uncertainty. Because it is not certainty that defines you. It is your courage to act, your commitment to meaning, and your refusal to surrender. The power to choose your path amid uncertainty is the greatest gift you can give yourself. It is the moment you refuse to be a passive observer in your own life, and instead become the warrior who charges forward despite the unknown. This choice is not a one-time event, but a daily commitment, a conscious decision to stand tall when the world demands surrender, to act with clarity when confusion threatens, and to embrace responsibility when others seek excuses. This is where true freedom begins, not the freedom to avoid challenges, but the freedom to confront them head on. When you accept this responsibility, you break free from the chains of fear and complacency. You no longer wait for the perfect moment, the ideal circumstances, or someone else to give you permission. You claim your power and act with fierce determination, knowing that your actions define your destiny. It is in this space of empowered responsibility that meaning takes root and grows. Your life becomes a testament to the strength of the human spirit, a beacon that shines brightest not because it never falters, but because it refuses to be extinguished. When you choose to live with purpose, every setback becomes a lesson, every failure a stepping stone, and every hardship an opportunity to grow stronger. The psychology behind this is clear. People who embrace responsibility and purpose experience greater resilience, satisfaction, and motivation. Their brains are wired to reward meaningful action with feelings of fulfillment and joy. This is not wishful thinking, it is the science of human flourishing. Your mind and body respond to meaning with energy and vitality, fueling your drive to overcome obstacles and achieve greatness. But this power is not given. It must be claimed. It requires discipline, courage, and relentless focus. It means waking up every day with the intention to act, to grow, and to contribute. It means setting boundaries that protect your values, surrounding yourself with influences that uplift, and rejecting the noise that seeks to distract or diminish your resolve. The road will never be smooth. Doubt will return, fear will knock at your door, and temptation to give up will arise. But each time you resist, you build a fortress of character that cannot be broken. This fortress is your legacy, the unseen strength that supports every dream, every relationship, and every challenge you face. When you live this way, you become a force of nature. You inspire not only yourself, but those around you. Your example creates ripples that spread far beyond your immediate reach. You show others that meaning is not a distant ideal, but a living reality shaped by action and choice. You prove that responsibility is not a burden, but a source of incredible power. This transformation elevates your life from ordinary to extraordinary. It shifts your mindset from scarcity to abundance, from fear to faith, and from passivity to purpose. You move through the world with confidence because you know that no matter what happens, you have the inner resources to endure and thrive. Understanding this is the key to unlocking your potential. You no longer wait for external validation or approval. Instead, you trust your own judgment and act in alignment with your deepest values. This self-trust is a cornerstone of resilience. It anchors you when storms arise and guides you when the path is unclear. Your commitment to responsibility also fuels creativity and innovation. When you take ownership of your life, you stop fearing failure and start seeing it as a necessary part of growth. You experiment, you learn, and you adapt. This dynamic approach leads to breakthroughs that transform challenges into opportunities and dreams into reality. The world needs more people who choose this path, people who stand firm in the face of doubt, who act with integrity when others waver, and who build lives of meaning that inspire generations. By embracing responsibility, you join this ranks. You become a beacon of hope and strength in a world hungry for direction and courage. Never underestimate the ripple effect of your choices. Each decision to live responsibly sends waves of possibility into your future and the futures of those around you. Your life becomes a testament to the power of human agency, the undeniable truth that while you cannot control everything, you can control how you respond. This control is where true empowerment lives. It is the power to rise above circumstance, to find meaning amid chaos, and to create a life that matters. This is the ultimate freedom. The freedom not to avoid life's challenges, but to face them with a heart full of courage and a mind anchored in purpose. So stand firm in this truth. Your responsibility is your power. Your choices are your legacy. Your commitment to meaning is the light that guides you through darkness. When you own this, you become unstoppable. Live boldly, act decisively. Build a life that reflects the incredible strength of your spirit, because within you lies the power to transform doubt into clarity, chaos into order, and despair into triumph. This is not just your story. It is the story of every human being who has ever dared to live with purpose. It is the story you write with every breath, every step, and every choice you make. Own it, live it, become it. Meaning is not a luxury reserved for the few. It is a necessity for every soul that seeks to rise above mere existence. Without it, life becomes a void, a hollow echo that drains energy and purpose. But when you anchor your life in meaning, you tap into a force that transcends fleeting pleasures and temporary achievements. Meaning is the steady flame that burns even when everything else fades. It is the foundation upon which resilience, joy, and fulfillment are built. The science of motivation reveals that humans are wired to pursue meaning above all else. It activates the deepest parts of our brain, igniting a sense of direction and vitality that fuels every action. When you live with meaning, your mind stays focused, your emotions stabilize, and your body finds strength to endure challenges. This is not abstract philosophy. It is the lived reality of those who refuse to settle for less than a purposeful life. Meaning compels you to move forward even when the path is unclear. It turns obstacles into opportunities and setbacks into lessons. This transformative power comes from something profound, the alignment of your actions with your core values. When your choices reflect what matters most to you, you experience a harmony that no external circumstance can disrupt. This alignment is the key to sustaining motivation over the long haul, because the world will test you relentlessly. Disappointments, failures, and doubts will try to pull you away from your purpose. But when your meaning is deeply rooted, these trials become fuel rather than foes. They sharpen your focus, deepen your commitment, and strengthen your resolve. There is a profound psychological truth here. Meaning protects you from despair. It provides a lens through which hardship can be seen not as meaningless suffering, but as a necessary part of growth. This shift in perspective changes everything. It moves you from victimhood to agency, from helplessness to hope. When you grasp this, you begin to understand that meaning is not something to find, it is something to create. It is the product of your choices, your struggles, and your victories. Each act of courage, each moment of integrity builds the architecture of a meaningful life. You become both the artist and the masterpiece. This creation requires deliberate effort. It demands that you reflect on what matters, set clear goals, and align your daily actions with your highest priorities. It means rejecting distractions and comforts that numb the soul. It means embracing challenges as opportunities to deepen your purpose. The reward is immeasurable. A life of meaning is rich with satisfaction, even in the face of difficulty. It is a life where joy is not fleeting, but rooted in something enduring. It is a life where you wake each day with a sense of direction and fall asleep with peace. Your commitment to meaning also has a ripple effect on those around you. People are drawn to purpose like moths to a flame. Your passion and clarity inspire others to seek their own meaning. Your example becomes a beacon that lights the way for those lost in doubt and confusion. This is why meaning is contagious. When you live it fully, you create a legacy that extends far beyond your own life. You become a force of positive change in the world, a living testament to the power of human potential. Yet, meaning is not static. It evolves as you grow. What once fulfilled you may shift as new experiences shape your understanding. This dynamic quality requires openness and adaptability. It calls for continuous reflection and willingness to adjust your course. This ongoing process is not a sign of weakness but of strength. It shows that you are engaged with life deeply and authentically. You do not cling to outdated beliefs out of fear. Instead, you pursue truth relentlessly, allowing your meaning to deepen and expand. Through this, you build a life that is both stable and flexible, a life that can withstand change without losing its essence. This balance is the hallmark of true wisdom and resilience. In the end, meaning is the heartbeat of a life well lived. It transforms ordinary moments into milestones and mundane tasks into acts of significance. It empowers you to face adversity with courage and to celebrate success with humility. When you claim your meaning, you claim your power. You move from being a passive recipient of life's circumstances to an active creator of your destiny. This shift unlocks a level of motivation and fulfillment that few ever experience, so choose meaning. Build it daily. Let it guide your thoughts, your actions, and your dreams. In this choice, you discover the true purpose of your existence, the unshakable reason to keep moving forward no matter what stands in your way. You are not here by accident. Your life has profound significance. When you live with meaning, you embody that truth every day. You become unstoppable. Purpose without action is just a dream. It is the invisible energy that fuels every meaningful life, but without movement, it remains dormant. The difference between living a life of impact and one of regret is found in the choices you make each day, the small decisions that add up, the consistent effort that turns vision into reality. Your dreams demand more than hope. They demand relentless action rooted in unwavering commitment. Action breaks the chains of fear and doubt. It is the antidote to paralysis when the unknown threatens to overwhelm. Each step forward, no matter how small, builds momentum and rewires your mind for confidence and resilience. Neuroscience shows that acting in alignment with your purpose creates positive feedback loops in the brain, reinforcing motivation and reducing anxiety. Movement generates courage, but action is not random. It must be intentional. It requires clarity, knowing what you stand for and where you want to go. Without a clear target, your energy dissipates, scattered by distractions and indecision. Purpose aligns your efforts, turning them into powerful forces that move mountains. It sharpens your focus and elevates your resolve. This is why discipline is essential. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments. It is the daily practice of choosing what is necessary over what is easy. It is the quiet strength that whispers keep going when your body wants to quit and your mind wants to surrender. Discipline transforms fleeting motivation into lasting success. Understand that motivation alone is fleeting. It can spark a fire, but discipline keeps it burning. When passion wavers and enthusiasm fades, discipline carries you forward. It is the muscle you build through consistent effort, the habit that sustains your progress when inspiration is scarce. Every great achievement in history was built on this foundation, purpose-driven action sustained by unbreakable discipline. It is the commitment to show up, to do the work, and to push beyond limits. This commitment turns obstacles into opportunities and setbacks into comebacks. The power of action rooted in purpose also lies in its ripple effect. Your consistent effort not only transforms your life, but influences everyone around you. It radiates strength, inspires others to rise, and creates a culture of excellence and integrity. When you act with intention, you become a catalyst for collective growth and change. Resistance will come. Internal voices of doubt, external pressures to conform or quit. But each time you push through, you reinforce a powerful message to yourself. You are stronger than your challenges. This resilience is cultivated through repetition, patience, and a refusal to accept defeat. Acting in alignment with your deepest values creates a sense of fulfillment that no external reward can match. It satisfies the soul's hunger for meaning and purpose. This fulfillment becomes the fuel that propels you forward, making the journey itself a source of joy. Remember, progress is rarely linear. There will be moments of frustration, failure, and doubt, yet each stumble is an opportunity to learn, adapt, and grow stronger. Action grounded in purpose turns failures into feedback and setbacks into setups for success. You hold within you the power to create extraordinary change, not just in your own life, but in the world around you. When you combine clarity of purpose with disciplined action, you become unstoppable. You harness the full potential of your human spirit. So take the first step today, then the next, and the next after that. Let your actions echo the meaning you have chosen to live by. Build habits that reflect your highest values. Push through resistance with unwavering resolve. In this way, you transform dreams into reality and potential into power. This is the path of those who refuse to be passive, who choose to lead their lives with intention and courage. It is the path of true freedom, the freedom to shape your destiny through purposeful action. Embrace this truth. Your purpose demands your effort. Your dreams require your discipline. Your future depends on your willingness to act today. When you live by this, you don't just survive, you thrive, rise up and move forward. The world is waiting for the impact only you can make.